So yeah, hi, it's Eddy Clearwater calling from Chicago.
How you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
That's great.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, for sure.
When did you pick up the guitar?
Oh God, it was when I was like 14 years old, back in Mississippi.
In Mississippi?
Oh yeah, Macon, Mississippi, as I was born. Macon.
And why did you pick it up?
I always had the ambition to play guitar. I just thought it was very interesting, so I wanted to play. And later on, I got to hear people like Lightning Hopkins, John Lee Hooker, and then later on Chuck Berry, and people like that. And B.B. King. Don't forget B.B. King.
Well, how can you forget B.B. King?
Exactly.
He had the name that suited him well, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Quite well.
And you moved up to Chicago?
I moved to Chicago at age 15. I had an uncle that lived here, so he invited me to come to Chicago to pursue my dream. So I wrote him back and asked him to send me a ticket. I'd be on my way, so he sent me a ticket on a Greyhound bus for $15 in September of 1950. So I've been in Chicago ever since.
And according to your bio, you had to work a job as a dishwasher.
Oh yeah, my first job was a dishwasher. Wash the dishes and being a busboy in a restaurant, in Little Jack's restaurant in Chicago.
Wow, and that led to getting gigs in town?
Yes, well, see what happened, I at that time, I didn't have a guitar. I didn't own a guitar. But there was a pawn shop right next door to the restaurant. And every day on my lunch hour, I would go over to the pawn shop and look in the window. And it has an Epiphone guitar and amp in the window of the pawn shop. So I finally got up enough nerve to go in the pawn shop and ask them what the price of it was. And they said $175 for the guitar and amp. I worked washing dishes, and there was a bank across the street on the next corner across the street. So every time I get paid, I was making $37 a week. And anything over my expenses, I would go and put it in that bank. I started a bank account. So I saved up enough money to get the guitar. So that's how I bought my first guitar.
Do you still have that guitar?
No, I wish I would have kept it. It was the Epiphone. I have an Epiphone now, but it's a new one. I wish I would have kept that Epiphone. It was sort of a hollow body Epiphone. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. That would be great to have still. What year
was
that? 1950?
That would have been 1951. That's when I got a job and shit at the restaurant.
And around that time, who was playing around Chicago?
Around that time in Chicago, there were people like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Jimmy Reed, and a few other people. That's before I met Junior Wells and people like that. And a harp player named Max Simmons, he was playing. And that's the first person that let me play on the bandstand. So I got to see Muddy Waters and Little Walker in person, and also Jimmy Reed.
Wow.
They were all playing in Chicago at that time.
Did you ever get to jam with those guys?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Many times over. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Quite exciting when I first met them. It was just very, very exciting.
I can imagine. Those are some serious legends.
Oh, God, yeah.
My goodness.
I was in blues heaven. I felt like.
That's amazing.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Is the Rainbow Room is it still open in Ottawa?
Yeah. The Rainbow Room. I think it is. Have you played there?
Quite a few times. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I used to play the Rainbow Room. I've been going out east, and I would do Canada. I do Toronto and Ottawa and do Rainbow Room.
And when are you coming back?
I'd love to. As soon as they invite me, I'll be back.
Well,
I love Canada a lot. Yeah.
I'll get in touch with them and tell them to give you a call.
I really would appreciate it, yeah, because I haven't played there now in a few years. No, I played last year in Calgary, though.
So you still hang
Yeah.
around quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But Vancouver, I used to play Vancouver a lot.
Now, back to your guitar playing. I'm fascinated by this. You're a left-handed player, but you just play upside down.
Upside down, right-handed guitar, exactly.
Why is that?
Well, I'm just left-handed. You know, when I was in school, I wrote left-hand until my teacher yelled at me a few times, and she tried to get me to be right-handed. So I would do it when I was in school, but the minute I got out of school, I went right back to the left hand.
But were there no left-handed guitars back then?
Back then, no, I had never seen one.
Oh, really?
And, I just had to play it upside down until later on I met Otis Rush. And then I met Albert King, and I said, well, at least I'm in good company.
Do they play upside down as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, Otis Rush, they're left-handed. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what gigs were like back in the 50s when you were playing.
Well, gigs, back then, gigs in Chicago, on the west side and the south side of Chicago, gigs were plentiful because at that time, predominantly all black folks had blues. There was no such thing, blues club in the white area, which is the north side of Chicago. But later on, it extended to the north side of Chicago, and then that's when it really started to escalate.
Now, at that time, were you writing music?
Well, I wrote my first song that I wrote was Boogie Woogie Baby.
Boogie Woogie Baby.
And Hillbilly Blues. That was my first two songs I wrote.
And I just saw on your website that you just played a show this month with Buddy Guy.
Oh, yeah, at Legends, 7th of January here.
How was that?
Oh, great. We had a great time. It was totally sold out on a Friday night. Yeah. And the next night was my birthday party at Space in Evanston.
So what are you now, 83?
83.
83 years old and still rocking out.
So still loving the blues. I wrote a new song from a new album called You're Never Too Old to Rock and Roll.
Ain't that the truth?
Rock and roll is here to stay. Rock and roll will never go away. If Elvis was alive, you'd hear him say, I'm never too old to rock and roll.
I guess the rock and roll style that you have came from Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, is my all-time hero. I performed with him one time at a club in the suburbs of Chicago at the Manor Lounge. And we had a good time together. I was quite enthused just being in his presence.
I would say that most of the music, rock music and blues we hear today is all from him.
Absolutely, yeah. To be very modest, King Chuck Berry was the king of rock and roll. That's who really put it on the map.
That's right. Amazing. What do you think of all the guys that came after you? Like the big
guys
like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Eric Clapton?
Yeah, Stevie Ray. Yeah, I did one concert with Stevie Ray Vaughan at the Arizona Ballroom in Chicago.
Oh, you played?
And I think it was great because they're doing a good job with it. Plus, it's causing more young people to listen to the blues by hearing these guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Eric Clapton. And that's who the young white kids listen to, because they didn't know anything about Lightning Hopkins or John Lee Hooker. But they heard Stevie Ray Vaughan and they said, oh, that's great stuff. And they come to realize that's blues, what they're playing.
That's right.
And Stevie would always tell you right away, he said, I got all my music, I learned it from people like Albert King and Buddy Guy and people like that. And Eric Clapton the same way. You know, he give B.B. King all the credit in the world for being like the king of the blues. You know, but then a lot of white people listen to it that would have never heard it if it hadn't been for these people.
Yeah, so they basically introduced it to a new audience.
Oh yeah, exactly. It took the Rolling Stones to introduce blues to the black people in America.
Yeah. And all they were doing was copying the blues before them.
Right, exactly. Copying the blues.
That's right. They were big
So,
Chuck Berry fans too.
oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah. The Stones was big Chuck Berry fan.
Let's talk about your name. I read an interesting story about your name, Eddy Clearwater. Where did you get that name?
Okay, my one-time manager and booking agent, he wanted to sign me to a booking contract with my agent. And he said, but I want to change your name from Eddie Harrington to Clearwater. I said, Clearwater? He said, yeah. He said, that's the muddy water. And I'm going to change your name to Clearwater. And then Sonny Thompson from King Records said, King Records signed me up to a recording contract. And Sonny Thompson used my first name. He said, I'll call you Eddy Clearwater, which Eddie is my first name. So that's how it came around.
And what about the Chief?
Okay, that was Jim O'Neill from Rooster Records. Was going to do an album on me in 1980. The album called The Chief. And the way he got named The Chief, I said to Jim, I want to ride a horse and wear my headdress for the album cover, for the artwork. So Jim rented a horse on a horse farm, and we shot the pictures for the album cover. And then when we finished with the photo session, Jim O'Neill said we'll call the album The Chief. Everyone started to call me The Chief after that. You know?
Oh, that's awesome too. Why did it take you so long to make your first album?
Well, just opportunity, looking for the right opportunity. At that time, there was only two, you may say, well-known record companies in Chicago at that time, which was Chess and VJ. Chess had Chuck Berry, and they had Bo Diddley. And VJ had Jimmy Reed and people like that. So that was not a lot of outlets with blues record companies. And I was a little bit too shy to go to Chess looking for a recording contract because everyone would call me. They say he's like a Chuck Berry imitator. Until Bruce Riegel finally heard my album, The Chief, and that's when he decided he was convinced. You know, I'm Alligator.
But that was 25 years after you started doing.
Yes, oh yeah. My first album was my first domestic album was The Chief.
Wow. So were you able to make a living just gigging in Chicago?
Oh yeah, full time, 6 and 7 days a week. Really? At that time, when clubs booked you, they would book you like for the better part of a week, say Wednesday through Saturday. And as a matter of fact, when I first started coming to Canada, all the clubs then would book you for a whole week at one club. So like Wednesday through Saturday. It was much different from what it is now.
I can't imagine that. You never get tired of playing 7 nights a week?
Well, if you like doing what you're doing, you enjoy doing it. You get tired, but you rest up and you start over again.
Well, like how many hours were you doing a night?
So the standard was like 3 1-hour shows.
Every night?
Every night, yes. 3 1-hour shows. Yeah. Like 5 nights a week, 5 and 6 nights a week.
That's exhausting.
It's very exhausting. It's a good thing I was younger at that time.
Yeah. How many shows do you play now?
Well, I cut back quite a bit. When I'm on tour, I do like 3 and 4 nights a week, out of a week when I'm touring out of town.
How do you do that? I have trouble getting out of bed in the morning. I'm so exhausted.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Jim. It has its moments, but you got to really love what you're doing, Well, I play the music for the love of it, for the love of the music and for the love of the people. That's the main reason to do it.